you on Vibe's account, Alex?
Yeah.
You guys can forego webcams
Oh.
if you want. I mean, there's no pressure to have those on anymore, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually have to.
I'm gonna unplug
Yeah.
my webcam, actually.
We have to work on something with Diego.
Oh, no.
We'll be right back in a few minutes. Alex, can you start the first game off by yourself?
Sure. As long as y'all are in the lobby or whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if you logged in, Alex.
Yeah, I'm getting it's authenticating, Drewby. I can't just accelerate the authentication process. I'm not Liquid Chef. I wish I was, though.
Okay. So Vibe is
You guys
1, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, I'm on. Hit me up.
6 Spartan.
Then
That I am.
That's Pam and Faith. Either one.
Hey, I'm trying to spread awareness of this like huge issue with StarCraft.
What is it?
We have to fix our user interface into something better. Katz knows 100% what I'm saying.
As far as what?
He's a Dota 2 player too.
Oh.
Like, we need so many things fixed in that regard.
Who can we talk to? How do we get that
I think that was obvious. I think that was obvious when the fucking when StarCraft 2 came out. Like Battle.net 2.0 has not improved since they came out. Basically, it's like Battle.net 1 was way better. So
Yeah, like we need to sign a petition. Like, go back to BNet 1.
Yeah, we stopped caring about it. We still have no clans or teams.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
I think it'd be really cool if they added some sort of tournament interface ability, like where you just click on a tab and you can join a tournament. It tells you how far away you are from a tournament. It tells you when your next round is. It tells you who you're playing. It sets up the lobby for you.
Oh.
I think they could definitely do that in the client. I think that'd be really cool.
You're on Wings of Liberty, dude.
Huh? What? Who?
You logged on the wrong StarCraft.
Oh boy. Oh. I mean, it goes without saying. There's a lot of things in the user interface that needs to be fixed and can be improved, like just based off of like the first Battle.net.
The one thing they
That's
got
what I
right
saw
though.
with Liberty was minigun searching match.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm playing, dude.
You're playing. Ooh. You don't like. You don't like
Minigun, come
new stuff?
watch.
So the one thing they got really good about the interface with the new Battle.net is the fact that when you join games, it auto starts. I really hated hitting that start button.
No, that's. What do you mean? Oh,
I'll be right back.
That's
Like
join
20
game, not
seconds.
game.
Okay. Be
Yeah,
right back.
it's so fun when you join a game on accident and you don't create it, and then someone else joins it, and you have to
That is
alt
so
F4 to get to stop. Or
Okay.
you just hit the
Okay. Can Sean and Major get off the call so we can cast?
Okay, Lee.
Hey, I wanted
Adios.
to be on the call.
Oh. Well,
Adios,
we want to talk about how awesome you are,
Make the roaches.
and we want to make fun of
Fuck you, Vibe.
of one.
The roach is pretty good.
We'll be saying what he's doing while we're making fun of him. So
Okay, be right back.
Don't forget to make the roaches.
Okay, I'll see you guys later.
okay. Bye, Sean.
Bye, Shawnee. Good luck.
Okay. And should we just start without Alex? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Go.
What do you mean start without Alex? I'm not even in the game either. Or whatever.
Okay. You can watch my screen. Why didn't?
We're casting this? Oh.
I can't really cast either because mine's gonna be delayed since I'm watching the screen because I'm not on.
Yeah. Okay, me and Katz will be right back in a few minutes. We just need to talk to Diego before he leaves. And so, Alex, can you just tell Alex that he's on his own for a few minutes? Dan?
Where did he go?
I don't know.
You want me to tell Alex?
Yeah, can you just like
Yeah,
tell him?
I can tell him.
Okay, cool.
That's a pretty
Okay,
hard
be right
job, but I think I can do it.
back. Okay, thanks. Thanks, man. Okay, be right back.
Okay, I'm back. What's up?
They said they'll be back in just a few minutes.
What? Who's
So-
left with me?
Nobody.
Why are these guys the
I-
same exact color?
I don't know. I can't cast it either because I'm not actually in Battle.net, so it'll be delayed if I said
So
stuff.
am I the only one here?
Yeah, Druby and Katz will be back though soon. Before this game's over, for sure.
That's fantastic. Is my thing am I lagging? Can you look at the chat? Do you have access to the chat right now? I feel like
Yeah, I see it. I don't see anyone talking about lag right now, and I don't see lag either because I'm watching as well.
All right, cool. Who won the Cowboy game? Do you know? By the way, sorry, that's completely irrelevant.
I don't know. I wasn't.
Dang it!
Sorry.
Like I was watching it, and then the show started.
I can text my brother and find out if you
No,
want.
it's fine. Someone in the chat, I'll tell you in about 5
Alright.
seconds. All right, here we are. This is going to be a best of 3 Heart of the Swarm action. Bottom right-hand location, we have the purple Zerg player, Sheth from Team Liquid. His opponent in the top left, it's going to be the pink Terran player. That's not Vibe. That is Major from Team Root Gaming. That's going to be a little bit confusing. I'm considering pulling out my scoreboard to change that. But, ooh, opening up with the gas. Interesting. The map, I have absolutely no idea. What is this map called, Vibe? You know.
It's called. I don't know.
I know.
The Diablo map, like Ruby said.
It's okay that you don't know, because I don't know either. So again, someone in the chat. Did anyone in the chat say who won that game? By the way, have you been looking?
Cowboys.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about this map. Maybe specifically the TVZ matchup. It feels like the natural expansion is really easy to take. The huge map, first of all. The third seems relatively easy to take. However, there's a lot of space around that, so difficult to hold, perhaps. I could see that being a problem in a lot of matchups. But I would expect relatively standard Wings of Liberty type play, at least throughout the first few minutes.
For sure.
So yeah,
Okay.
any map thoughts or thoughts on
I'll elaborate on it in a second, but there is actually a tad bit of FPS lag now.
Dang it. Is it crazy?
It's not bad, but it's noticeable.
Okay.
But on this map, I guess it's really, 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 really big, and it's like the same spawn distance on whatever side your opponent spawns on, unless they're cross spawn, then it's going to be obviously a little longer. But there's no issues of like close by ground spawns in this map, like some other maps have had. So I think
Yeah.
Blizzard's kind of going on the right path, at least to getting rid of or like eliminating that problem with the new maps they've made, because they've had that problem kind of recurring constantly in Wings of Liberty. So I'm happy about that, at least.
Yeah. Gigantic map. Now, I think I'm going to restart the call. Maybe that'll help fix the issues, hopefully.
Okay.
So, answer when I call again, please.
Yeah, sure. I'm back.
I hope it doesn't like leave the tone on. Okay, no, it's not going to. All right. Well, hopefully the issues are amended. I mean, I feel like because now the video should be off, so I think my XSplit was still capturing video, which might have hurt the FPS or whatever. But let's look at the openings really quick. It looks like a gasless opening from Sheth. Again, fairly standard as far as Wings of Liberty is concerned. Opening up with 2 queens, probably going to follow it up with 2 more. His opponent is actually going for Reapers, and he has Nitro packs on the way. So Major is going for Reaper speed, and he already has a Hellion on the field. Have you been seeing a lot of Reapers in your Heart of the Swarm games?
Not really. Like, the one thing I'm not sure about the upgrade, but I don't think you need a factory to upgrade the regen for a Reaper, or that might not even be an upgrade at all. I don't know. You'd have to like kind of confirm that for me, but the Reaper regen just itself is pretty damn good when the Zerg doesn't have speed for their lings, because you can get in, take some damage from the queen, but when you're doing that, you're going to be killing like 2 drones or 3 drones, and then you're going to get out and then just regen and do it again and do it again. And you can probably get off like 12 drones before the Zerg gets speed if you have really good just micro on your Reaper. So it's a pretty strong opening, but if Sheth actually defends really well, then it won't do much, I guess. It depends how well he positions his queens.
Yeah, I think that's the key, and of course something to look at with that in mind is the architecture of these bases. It doesn't seem like there's too many jump-in points on this map. I mean, you do have the north side of the main base, but that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the only place you can really jump into this this area. So we'll have to see how much damage these Reapers end up doing. I assume he's going to make more than.
Yeah, well, he upgraded the speed, so that
I know.
would
Why would he not make
more than one?
That's maybe later on. Maybe he's gonna make some Hellions and then transition back into the bunch of Reapers or something. I don't know. Who knows what major? Oh, he does have 3 there. Sorry, I didn't see those. So he does have 3 on the map. Gonna go right into the main base. Looks like actually gonna try to delay some creep. Killing 2 creep troopers there, not too bad at all. Jumping into the main base. Queens hastily trying to make their way up to defend. And the Reaper's going to be targeting down some drones here, staying alive for a decent amount of time. Only 1 queen here to deal with them. Looks like 2 drones go down, maybe 3. Workers killed actually shows 9 in the favor of of Major there, losing 3 Reapers in the process. Income tab shows 43 to 29 in favor of Sheth. So Sheth still has a comfortable Harvester lead. Actually started his layer, but canceled it and then started it again. Do you think that was good harassment there from Major?
I think it definitely could have done more. It would have. I think it kind of evened out just because he killed a decent amount, but Sheth easily replaced it. I think if Major would have saved them and then had the threat of it happening again,
Sure.
that would have been the big point where he would have pulled ahead. But
Yeah.
I think it just kind of evened out.
I agree. I mean, when you're attacking with Reapers on this map, it's very hard to run away. But speaking of run away, Hellions running right into the natural expansion, going after those drones. And oh no, this is not good for Sheth. So many drones roasting away, nothing but drone guts on the ground of this natural expansion. Hellions doing so much damage as 5, but the slight delay is able to see the carnage that I'm witnessing in front of me. Yeah, that was pretty good. Workers killed, 28 workers killed for Major.
That was definitely more effective.
Yeah, indeed. Now, would you expect Major to follow up that drone harassment with some sort of timing push, or?
I mean, he definitely has 2 options now. He can either just safely take a third because now Sheth has to worry about replacing his economy that he just lost instead of making an army, or also when you think about it like that, Major could also say, "Oh, he's going to replace the economy, so a lot of larva is going to go into drones now. So I have a better timing." So
exactly,
he could definitely do either one, and it looks like he's going to go for the timing because he's making a starport and he's getting a lot of upgrades.
Yeah. At the same time, also taking his third base. Of course, he can feel safe to do that. I feel. Meanwhile, we see Sheth trying to build that drone count back up, going up to Infestation Pit. Now, Infestation Pit enables the production of those, what are they called again? The swarm hosts. Do you expect him to go into those, or what is he doing with his Infestation Pit?
I would imagine that he's going to go for more like a... He might go for Infestors if Juan starts going for a lot of Thors, but as you can see, Juan's not going for Thors, and as soon as Sheth realizes that, I don't think we'll see Infestors, and I also don't think we'll see Swarm Hosts, because in my experiences, Swarm Hosts are terrible against mech, and if Sheth has tried it before, he'll know the same.
Yeah.
Like, they don't do anything against mech. So I would imagine it's going to be for, like, possibly just a hive, a quicker hive and upgrades, maybe.
Okay. We see him doing a lot of stuff in that that production tab. We've got Carapace level 2, Missile Attacks level 2, Pneumatized Carapace, and Ventral Sack. So he might be going for Roach drops, it seems. Also incorporating Burrow. He does have a pretty decent Roach composition here. Of course, Major is not a fan of the Roach, as he's professed in the past.
Just make the Roach.
Yeah. I mean, back to Swarm Host, though, like, on a map like this, I don't feel like they'd be incredibly effective, too, because it's such a big map. Like, you have to get your Swarm Hosts all the way across the field, and then you have to worry about potential counterattacks. So I feel like there's a lot of, like, they're not the most mobile things in the world, but anyway. Major trying to do some Hellion counter attackage, going after this third base. 1 Roach. Gonna halt all 4 of them. Major, I think it was some mismicro there for sure, stopped his 4 Hellions to target down a Roach. Might have been distracted by these Roaches attacking his front door. 2 Warhounds and a Banshee going to be enough to deal with that. So Major up 112 to 105 supply gain. That third nicely saturated. We can actually see the Harvester she has on each base here. Income tab really quick is 67 to 66. So fairly even in that regard, but I feel like Major still has a slight lead here. Sheth is just now taking his 4th base at the top right-hand nest location, I guess I'll call it. And it looks like Major's still trying to do some Hellion harassment. What do you think the game plan is here from Sheth? I mean, he did just finish drop. His hive is halfway done. And his Hydrogen is about to finish. It seems like he's upgrading a lot of different directions. What's his goal here?
I haven't really seen too much of Hydralisks being used against Terran, especially mech, but this makes me think, since he went to hive really fast and he's getting drops and all this, he might be doing, if Major goes for like a tank heavy composition, he'll just do a Roach scatter drop all over the army, and then he can transition out into something like the Viper Hydralisk style that he that's more or less popular against Protoss right now. So I don't know. I haven't really seen Hydralisk effectively used against Terran lately.
I guess we'll find out. I mean,
we're going to learn together here, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he has. I mean, isn't that what Heart of the Storm is right now? Like, we're all learning together. We do have 2 Hydras in production, also getting +3 missile attacks and +3 ground carapace already. Very nicely timed, in fact, to be able to start those right when that hive completed. Group Spine's about halfway complete, adding on 2 additional hatcheries. Actually, the one he already added on, adding on additional hatchery at the middle right-hand location. You know, Major's still trying to get some damage done with Banshees and Hellions here and there, but Sheth's doing a decent job with his containment or with his prevention of that harassment. I guess, you know, excluding that example from earlier on. But hold that thought. Hellions actually getting to the natural expansion here from Sheth, going right after that middle line. Drones. It's okay for now. Only 3 drones falling, make that 4, and the Hellions dealt with not too wasn't too difficult. A hatchery at the top right though, getting denied by those Banshees. And you know, it seems like Major's just trying to harass as much as possible while building up his mech army. At the same time, though, Sheth, those are fast overlords. Those seem really slow.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about
What?
earlier. It's they really reduced the speed of an upgraded overlord.
There's so many turrets here. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the first time I saw it, I thought those were actually not like they buffed the speed of a non-upgraded overlord, and then I realized the overlord is actually already upgraded in speed. So it seems kind of, I don't know. It seems really bad because they move so slow now.
They're so slow. I don't even want to know what a slow overlord is like.
I think they reverted the speed back to their old default.
What do you think is the reason? Why do you think they did that?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Did they add anything that helps what a speed overlord would have done earlier, where they felt like, oh, it's not needed anymore?
I think the only units you really would ban, or I don't know, it kind of nerfs Baneling drop, I guess, but Zerg's kind of stopped doing that anyways, and maybe it'll make like a resurgence in Heart of the Swarm. But the only thing I really think it affects now, in terms of dropping on armies and not dropping someone's base, is against mech for Zerg, because it's really popular to drop roaches all over
on
their
mech.
army.
Yeah, exactly.
So it just buffs.
Or
mech.
just drop in the main in general to go after that production, trying to be at least a little bit cost efficient with your trades. Yeah, that's actually a pretty interesting issue. Also, we just saw in the production tab muscular something or other being researched, which is
the Hydra speed.
The Hydra speed, 25% off creep. So these Hydras zipping around the middle of the map here. Never thought I'd use that word when describing Hydralisk movement, but that's what they're doing. I'm not even kidding. Targeting down this barracks that's floating overhead. Hopefully the FPS issue is relatively gone. But
it looks good to me right now. I haven't seen it. I don't lag.
Perfect. And it looks like Major's decided he wants to march across the map. Has some Thors here, lots of tanks, Banshees, and some Warhounds as well. Slowly marching across the top side of the map over to the right-hand side. Oh, a bunch of mines from Major. Not really doing much. Going to back away. We're not able to burrow. And Sheth is able to take a decent amount of bases here. He's at 75 drones. He's going up to 5 Vipers, so we should see some interesting micro situations here, as the composition for Sheth is Roach, Hydra, Viper, whereas the composition for Major looks like, again, it's Tank, Thor, Warhound. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Definitely not something you see every day. Definitely not something you'll see in Wings of Liberty. Something unique to Heart of the Swarm. Looks like some Hydras picking up some fights with this mech army. Sheth tried to go for a drop there, but it was grossly unsuccessful. And now Major is just going to march across the map. Sheth has to find a way to engage this. What's an optimal way to do that? How is Sheth going to handle this push?
I think if he gets an opportunity to abduct, which is the Scorpion grab, any units he can, he'll definitely do it. And his primary targets would be sieged up tanks or just Thors if the tanks are unsieged. But I don't know. I would not expect the Roach Hydra Viper composition to beat a mech army at all. Yeah. So if he makes it work, then I'll be pretty surprised.
Well, at this point, it looks like he's going for a base tradey type thing, taking out that top expansion from his opponent. Now returning back, looks like he's going to want to go for a flank. Now the good news here for him is his opponent's on creep. The bad news is his Thor's about to die. A lot of drones there falling as well. And Sheth's going to try to go first round, but all these tanks sieging up. Where are those Vipers? I have no idea where they are. Okay, they are in Sheth's main base. Looks like he's coming forward with those Vipers. Going to pull back a lot of siege tanks here. At the same time, going to engage from the north-hand side with the Roaches and the Hydras, trying to take away these Hellions, tanks, and Thors. But is that going to be enough? The tanks just going to high ground? I'm not sure how that kind of helps his cause. I guess just trying to pull them away from the army.
Trying to split up the tank shots.
Yeah.
But like Roaches and Hydras just melt to siege tanks pretty fast, so that's why. And also the other problem, or the other issue I saw with this kind of a build against mech, is that Vipers are really vulnerable units. They only have 120 hit points, and their Scorpion grab range is about the same range as the Thor's.
It costs a lot of energy too.
Yeah, so you can't spam it either, like all of it, with just a few Vipers. But the range of grabbing a unit is about the same range as if they were shooting an air unit. So they're going to be taking damage every time they grab something if they're actually engaging into the army like that.
Yeah.
So it just seemed like it was kind of a non-optimal way to deal with it.
Yeah. Interesting game. Of course, there goes the GG from Sheth. This is a best of 3 between Sheth and Major. If you're just now joining us, game 2 will be coming up fairly shortly. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, unit composition choice was definitely an interesting part of that. I don't know if he's played against that type of style in Heart of the Swarm yet, or his opponent goes for that really scary mech army, or if he thought he could make something happen if the Vipers were a little bit late. I'm gonna ask Chef. Hold on, I don't have Chef. Let me message him. Map, sir. Yeah. I don't know. What could have Chef done differently there?
Well, I think if Sheth got a perfect engagement, what would have happened was if Juan's tanks were already sieged and they were no longer being able to become mobile, if Sheth could have pulled the tanks away from the army and then got an engagement where he could have fought the Thors and whatever else was there, the Banshees, without being shot down by tanks, that would have taken away kind of the meat shield for the tanks to where now all the remaining roaches and hydras, all they would have had to have done is just kind of split up and then scatter into the remaining tanks that are left and kill them that way. But I don't. That would have taken a lot of energy to do that, and it just didn't seem that.
Major was able to get too deep into the Sheth side of things too. I feel like optimally it would have been better if Sheth had engaged a little bit earlier. I'm not sure exactly the timing of, of his Vipers that came out where he can actually.
Yeah. Like I think when the tanks are sieged and they're directly next to the Thors and the rest of the army, the range of the grab, pretty much one time to pull it back, is not enough to outrange a tank when your Thors are being shot by roaches and hydras. Like the range difference isn't enough to outweigh the range of a tank initially. So,
how do you generally approach the ZVT matchup when your opponent goes mech?
Right
in
now,
Heart of the Swarm, at least.
Yeah. Right now, with just how popular Warhounds are, I think that it's depending on how many Hellions you see. If you don't see a lot of Hellions, and it's more or less a heavy Warhound and tank heavy, or Warhound tank Thor composition, I like to go for more of a Roach infested Zergling style composition.
Right.
Because this just like Wings of Liberty style, where you get the tanks to splash their own units. Your roaches get in there and just start killing stuff, and you can either neuroparasite or just throw down a bunch of infested Terrans. But then as soon as if you identify that you've broken an army, or you've at least broken down the Thor count a lot, and he's making a lot of Hellions, Thors, or a bunch of Hellions, tanks, and Warhounds, you can just tech swap into a bunch of Mutalisks, and you can just pick off the remaining Thors with Magic Box, and then you have a bunch of units now that can't even attack air. And you can just swap between roaches and mutas. I feel like that's the way you have to beat it, just because Warhounds are so deadly in ZBT with a lot of them.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I feel like Major has expressed he really loves the mech style, and it's pretty darn good. So we'll have to see how Sheth changes things up. He is your blue Zerg player in the bottom left-hand location, representing Team Liquid. His opponent in the top right, it's going to be the red Terran player Major from Team Root. Is the music any different in Heart of the Swarm? Have you noticed? Have you been listening to it?
I don't think it is. I actually turn the music off a lot because
you listen to your own
the Pandora. But yeah,
nice. Vibe not here. They're talking to you, man, but you're not in the game.
I don't know.
Chef says there's like a glitch with you're not able to click eggs sometimes.
I haven't experienced that yet. At least I don't think I have. So I don't know.
All right. By the way, guys, if you're just now joining us, this is a fun best of 3. Of course, we just finished with Decision Making, the new show from Root. If you want more information about that, check out the Team Liquid thread or the Reddit thread. Again, any feedback you have on that, feel free to share, because I'm going to read it, and I'm going to make changes if you want changes to be made. But yeah, just a fun little Heart of the Swarm best of 3 here at the end of that show. Of course, my name is Axel Toss, joined by Vibe from Team Root. Cats and Jerby had to get something done, or they're dodging. But they're not with us right now. Hopefully they can jump in a little bit later. It was on game 1. Major pretty comfortably took out Sheth. It wasn't too much of an issue from him. Went for a mech style, and Sheth tried to make roaches and hydras work late game versus mech against Terran, and didn't really work out. But we'll have to see again if he changes anything. If he changes his, oh my gosh, Major, what are you doing? Major's taking out an overlord from his opponent.
I think, is it actually gonna die? I would think
yeah,
that,
no, it's gonna.
oh wow.
It's gonna be close. I think it'll survive. 28 HP. Wow, I almost.
Actually, I earlier a second ago I said they reverted the speed of a default overlord. That actually isn't even true. I don't know.
Yeah,
why
like
I said
that's the
that.
same.
It's the original speed of an overlord that scouts without the speed upgrade is actually the same as after they got
It
buffed.
says 0.59 here.
Yeah, yeah. It used to be like 0.4 or something. It was really a lot slower. I'm pretty sure.
Before the buff in Wings of Liberty.
Yeah, but like the speed upgrade is what got nerfed.
Yeah, like it goes from
Part of the Storm.
0.59 to what, like
1.4 or something. It's really slow.
and the speed of the Overlord in Wings of Liberty was like.
It's like 1.9 or 2.0 or something.
It's definitely noticeable. Yeah, that's definitely an interesting change. Looks like some Marines coming out here from Major, trying to clean up these links. Sheth actually has a lot of links coming forward here, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Major microing away 2 Marines versus 3. The Marines, I think, should win this. And, oh! That was close. 2 Lings going to survive. So I was completely wrong. Yes!
He might, if he had enough Lings that survived there, he could force a lift on the Orbook man on the bottom, but only with 2, that's not really going to do anything.
Yeah, they're just going to start being annoying and pecking away at an SCV. Taking out a few Marines there, though, is definitely not a bad thing. But you got to consider the investment into those Lings that weren't into drones. But honestly, it's not going to have a lasting impact on this game, I don't think. The Link's still pecking away at the national expansion to try to track down an SCV. Where are the Marines? Okay, and Hellion getting on the field. I'm like, Major's not making Marines here. Getting a Hellion out, going to try to track down those Links finally. But yeah, the map, I saw its name, but I've since forgotten it. So I don't know the name. I've seen quite a few games played on it. I don't know how many games you've played on this map. Do you think the playstyles are going to change much based on the map?
This map is kind of like what's the map from regular StarCraft? It's the desert one with. It's just pretty. It doesn't matter what it is, but
Blistering Sand?
it has. It's not that one. It's a different one, but it's like a desert. It is a desert tile set, but it has like a back entrance and a front entrance. I guess you could say it's like Zilnaga Caverns, even though that wasn't the map I was thinking of. That's another one with the example of the same
feels like
style.
dual site too, almost.
Yeah, like it just has multiple entrances to the natural, and that does make for like a different dynamic in how the game can go for a lot of counterattacks. So it makes Zerglings a bit stronger or a bit more effective in the later games or in the later stages of the game. But with the mech style, I don't know. The new Hellions are just insane, so I don't know if we'll see Zerglings.
We have a lot of roaches incoming here from Sheth. Looks like he has about 9 on the way to Major's natural expansion. I don't know. He's definitely scouted at least 3 of them, but he's not really reacting too much. Still a lot of SCVs at his natural expansion. Hasn't made any motions to retreat them into his main. Blocking off 2 supply depots and 6 Spartan. Who is that, by the way?
That's either Faith or TT1.
Either Faith or TT1 saying 1 Warhound is going to hold this. We'll see. Major's going to have to scout that back. And he might be right if the SCVs can repair that and tank enough of that roach damage. Okay, he's saying...
I think he's dead. If the roaches were considered mechanical, like for the Warhound to get its bonus attack, I think they could hold, but... Oh, never mind, I think I'm wrong, because the SCVs just surrounded everything.
I mean, there's a difference between dead and dead. Sure, he's not dead right now, but he's behind in Harvesters 34 to 16. Sheth can basically do whatever he wants at this point. Major doesn't really have too high of an ability to be aggressive. The Warhound does end up falling, but all the roaches end up being killed. Some follow-up links coming in here to the natural expansion. SCVs and mules forced to flee back into the main base. Another Warhound gets out on the field, coupled with some Marines. It's going to be enough to take care of those links. Wow, even one of those Widow Mines was able to take out some of those links. So Major gonna hold for now, but again, he's in a pretty sticky situation. Down 56 to 30 in that supply count. Again, income 39 to 19 in favor of the Liquid Zerg player, and Sheth just completely droning up like crazy at this point in time. And why not? After such a loss, what does Major need to do here to get back into this game?
I don't see any potential of a timing attack working for him now, just because his production's been stifled so bad. So the only way I see Major really coming back into this game is just by going into tanks and like more Warhounds, Hellions, whatever, just a pure mech style. turtle up and just absorb attack after attack. And if he can absorb efficiently, then he can build up enough of an army to do a big, massive counter push later on in the game. But I think if he moves out at all, like at any point in this game, until like 10 minutes down the road from now, if he moves out at any point between now and then, his army is just going to get completely demolished by Sheth. So I don't see him moving out anytime soon.
And on the other side of things, do you see Sheth trying to mold some sort of timing attack or try to jump into heavy tech, seeing as how he does have a significant advantage, or is he just going to rely on the economy?
I think he's definitely going to fully saturate 3 bases at the very least, and then possibly take maybe a 4th and a 5th and get some gases going at those. And this is actually one of the few instances when I think a unit like the Swarmos could be good against Terran, because now you have him pinned on his side of the map, and you can just put constant pressure on him. So I think Sheth's just gonna get his economy established, and then he can pretty much do whatever he wants. This can be like an experimental game for him to see what units are good.
All right, well, we're gonna see. Major's actually moving out right now. He has about 4 Warhounds, a couple Marines, and some Hellions mixed in. Advancing toward that base at the bottom right hand location. A lot of roaches in production here for Sheth. We'll have to see if he can hold this first. I don't think he can at this point, but it looks like Major is just going to go directly for that 3rd base. Sheth scrambling, trying to get enough roaches here to defend. And we'll have to see if this works. Warhound's taking some shots off at the roaches, doing a decent amount of damage. Sheth trying to get his army together to deal with this. But I think Major definitely has a slight opening here. Blue Flame Hellion's actually doing a decent amount of damage as well. This 4th might fall, but again, Sheth is continuing to reinforce more and more of those roaches and lings to this bottom right-hand location to defend against this aggression. And Major might just have to back up and go home here.
If he actually backed up right now and didn't lose these units, I actually think he would be in a decent spot, because he just forced a bunch of units, and Sheth hasn't fully established his economy yet. But these units are pretty much going to die, which now he's not running away, so they're going to die, and now I think Major's in a really tight spot because he couldn't really afford to lose these units. So game's going to be really, really, really hard for him to win now.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea, get your opponent to stop droning super crazy, maybe scare him a little bit, but at the cost of losing all these units, it becomes not worth it. We see some Widow Mines trying to take some shots at those roaches. They just say LOL whatever and absorb that damage, no problem. And now Major might be a little bit of trouble. It's 3 Warhounds here, a tank, some Hellions mixed in. The roaches is charging forward here, though. Target firing down the Warhounds. What is Major going to do to deal with this? Down 132 to 61 in that supply count, trying to pull those SCVs to make them at least a little bit help make the Warhound cost efficient and try to deal with it. So Major might hold here, but again, it's one of those things where he's losing every SCV. Okay, there's the GG. So Major realizing that's going to be the end, and we're tied 1-1 going into game 3. Sheth with a nice roach timing attack there that Major is pretty much caught completely off guard by it, and he's able to tie it up. So game 2 didn't really tell us a lot about much. You got to scout those roach timing attacks. You got to not let them do a lot of damage.
That was a really clever and effective way to harass a Warhound opening, because the Warhound, it's really good at harassing the Zerg, but if you just invest some of your early economy potential into an early attack, the Warhound can't really stand up to it that well. So that was definitely a smart move by Sheth that game.
Yeah, it's good. Recognizing your opponent's style, finding vulnerabilities, and then exploiting said vulnerabilities. What map have we not done? Have we done Aquilon Wastes? I don't think we have. Let's do that.
We have done that yet. It's like a desert tail site.
Yeah. It's not letting me make it. There was a temporary problem with your request.
Yeah, it's weird. Try and just refresh, I guess. Just go hit join game and create game if it's not working. Maybe that'll refresh it.
Let me relog. Let me relog.
So this is a best out of 5?
Best of 3.
Oh, best of 3, okay.
Yep. I love how Cats and Drew.
I know. I'll be back in a minute. I'm
jerks.
casting all zeros from your stream.
Why
I
can't
can't
I
even
make-
actually watch.
I can't make Aquilon Wastes. What other map is there?
There's Core Hall City. I don't know if you've done that one. Actually, I think that was the one you just did. Never mind.
No, we haven't done that yet.
Okay. Go do it up, man.
Oh, it's not letting me make maps. Hold on, let me talk to Major. What is he on your account?
Yeah, he is.
Make a map. It's not letting me. Major says K. By the way, guys, you are allowed to be impressed. Vibe is casting without being in the game. I keep telling people it's possible. They just don't believe me. You're doing a great job, man.
Thank you.
Isn't it easy?
Dude, you're setting me up. You're like, well, the roaches just killed everything. What do you think about that?
Can't make says request. What? Ask Chef to make. I don't have. Does anyone have Chef added?
I don't think he's on my account.
How do I see match history? Hi, friends. Hey, it's not letting me make a map. Bear with us, guys. Trying to figure out how to get a map started.
Major's mom is okay. She
Whoa.
was stung by the scorpion, but all that happened was she had to get some ointment. She went to the hospital for some ointment, and she was fine the next day. And then she was so pissed off though that she ended up having to move houses.
What? Did she
Yeah.
burn? Did she burn the old house down?
No.
That's the question.
She wasn't that mad. She had to get her money from selling it, obviously, but putting someone else in that death trap. But yeah, she basically, like, from what Juan said, after she was stung by a scorpion, she was like had it, and she just wanted to move, and that's what happened.
Wow,
So he's moved locations.
that's awesome. That is awesome.
Will it even let you, or will it let you make the Wings of Liberty maps?
I'm gonna relog and then I'll see that. Sheth was able to make a game,
Oh, okay.
and I'm gonna relog to see if it. I don't know why this is bizarre. It's apparently not letting him invite me. We gotta finish this best of 3, man.
Can't let this go undecided.
No way.
Everyone's gonna remember the first show match that happened as part of the Swarm Beta.
Exactly.
Who won between Sheth?
This is the first
And
official one, isn't it?
Yeah. And then maybe down the line, when things start getting distorted, they're gonna. If Major wins, people are actually gonna think that I beat Sheth with an off race.
Which you'd be okay with, considering you were not shy about expressing your.
Yeah, man. It's just something else I can brag about forever. Kiwikaki, you know.
Yeah. For those of you who are wondering what we're talking about, Vibe 5-0'd Kiwikaki earlier today. He hasn't been here. Want him. They are still in last game. It has been me and Vibe casting. They have been AFK. There we go. Alright. Countdown has begun, my friend. Root Vibe. It is you against Sheth. Why are you commentating your own game? People are asking. No, it's not Root Vibe. It is ROOTMajOr. His account was locked. Or actually, Slush is playing on his account right now. Everyone's sharing accounts here with Heart of the Swarm. So everyone can play it, because it's a lot of fun. Of course, Violet, I think, is using... Actually, I'm using mine right now. Violet was using mine earlier. I wonder if he got me the Masters. I gotta check on that. I got placed in silver. Don't tell anyone I said that, Vibe, and I'll know if you told anyone.
I won't tell anybody.
Alright,
Don't
thank
worry.
you. Alright, guys, welcome back. This is the best of 3. This is game number 3 in a nice little Heart of the Swarm show match. Perhaps the first one? The first Heart of the Swarm show match? Of course, the VODs will be up on the Root Gaming YouTube. This show match occurs after what just happened, which was the decision-making show, the Root Gaming show, and that's going to be VODed and placed on YouTube as well. An MP3 file will be used, so if you travel a lot in a car, on a plane, and you need something to download to your MP3 player, please consider downloading decision making from Root Gaming. Of course, it'll be made as soon as possible. If you want to know info about that, you can follow Root, or you can follow me at AxelToss on Twitter. I'll probably tweet about it, or you can just keep checking the root-gaming.com website, or Reddit will probably have info whenever that comes up. But we played this map in game 1. I just realized. I'm not sure why. And they chose again, which is fine. I mean, at least we got a map started. But I don't know if I introduced players in the top right-hand location. The blue, or the purple Zerg player, Sheth from Team Liquid. His opponent in the bottom left, it's the pink Terran player, Root Vibe. But it's not actually Root Vibe. It is Major from Team Root Gaming, playing on Vibe's account.
Making me look good.
Are we going to see the same strats on this map as we did on this map in game 1?
I imagine that we're going to see Mech again from Major, for sure. Because
What do you
just
think about that? I mean, it just seems like such a large map for that. I don't know.
Mech is just, it's so
it's
strong
not
right now.
mobile,
And,
so if you move out, what's to stop the Zerg opponent from just storming down your front door?
even though Mech isn't mobile, Major's actually really strong with Hellion Harass, and he's always finds a way to kill drones throughout the entire game. So more often than not, he always makes little advantages for himself, to where he can either take parts of the map, or he sets up timings where he can attack you while you're trying to reestablish your economy. So I think he's definitely gonna be relying on some Hellion Harass to further push his mech advantage, even though mech itself isn't necessarily a mobile composition.
Sure, that's a good point.
And then after that, I think, I don't know, if the game goes on pretty long, mech is also just pretty good at defending your side of the map with PFs and sensor towers and other stuff like that.
Yep. And if you have really good SimCity and you're really cautious about all that stuff, counterattacks, you can definitely handle those without too much trouble. I know Massa is one of those guys who's really stingent about where he places his buildings. There's always a reason he places a building in a certain location. Major, of course, is pretty darn good at that too. I feel like the best Terran players are really good at that. But yeah, what about from Sheth? What do you expect to see from him if Major ends up doing the same sort of strategy?
I don't know, man. Sheth.
Or what would you do? Maybe I should ask that.
What I would do is I would probably.
You said Ling Infestor earlier.
I would have scouted pretty early. I don't think Sheth actually drone scouted.
I don't think he did either.
I always like to drone scout for the Terran to find out when they take their gas. And I usually, if I see a Terran taking a gas pretty fast, I'll be throwing down a roach horn pretty fast, because they're already going into that that factory type of an opening.
Right.
And just the new battle hands are so insane if you don't actually have either a couple spines or roaches ready to go. And if they don't go for a quicker gas, I'll probably end up going for more of a Ling opening with a economy style. So those are my openings, and then just from there you kind of just read and try and get a proper counter to what he's doing in the mid to late game. So that's how I would go about it.
What do you make of this 8 Ling play here from Sheth?
If Major rushes for a factory opening, if he makes one Marine and then he goes and that add-on,
which people do.
What he can do is he can actually force the add-on not to be used right away, and he can also make the expansion command center lift off. Because if you have 8 Lings breaking down your front door, you can't necessarily just lift off and spawn production, because, I guess actually in this spawn location you could, because the add-on actually still blocks at the depots, and you could just repair. But on the other map that Sheth did the 8 Ling rush, the factory itself, or the barracks, was actually part of the wall, so we couldn't actually lift it off, and he had to make Marines and a Hellion out of the wrong add-ons. So it's kind of cute, a cute little attack that can stall out your opponent, or your Terran opponent, a little bit, but that's really all it is.
I mean, do you think Major amended his play a little bit? I mean, because it seemed like Sheth did the same thing in the last game, and it was grossly effective. And now we see Major has a lot more Marines out than he did.
Yeah, he definitely made a few more Marines this time. And I guess that's also kind of good too, because if there was another potential Roach attack, he could actually throw down a bunker this time and have the Marines in the bunker to help deal with that as well. So it's definitely a little bit of a safer opening into the mech style. So it's It's good by Major.
All right. Speaking of mech, we see Major making 3 Hellions at a time out of a reactor factory and a tech lab factory. Blue Flame Hellion is about 50% of the way through. Sheth, meanwhile, taking his 3rd base, making 10 roaches. This seems very similar opening to last game. You know, I mean, it worked so well. Actually, adding on a Baneliness too. So
These roaches are a little bit more defensive though. Like he made a lot more drones this time before he made the roaches, and
oh man, he's making a lot of lings.
yeah, he could be going for a timing now, I guess, but it's I don't know. I think the defensive style roaches would be definitely a good idea, but that would be assuming Sheth knew that Major was going for a lot of blue flame Hellions.
Which is exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
Six Hellions trying to squeak by there, but Sheth able to wrap around it and deal with that without before they could do too much damage. Major engaging in the middle of the map here, lots of roaches, lots of Hellions, and Major's going to be on the run, but the difference here is he knows exactly what's coming. Sheth continuing to march across the field, nothing but lings in production. Again, the Baneliness is done, he's approaching 400 gas, definitely wants to do some sort of...
Yeah, he just made a Baneling list too.
I know.
It's going to be a roach Baneling
I was going
plus.
to say that, but he's making drones behind this, so definitely just going to be a pressure. I don't know if he's going to incorporate Banelings. Oh! Widowmine's getting down and actually going to kill a lot of those slings, rendering them pretty ineffective. And now it's, I think Major's going to be just fine, no problem.
Yeah, there's very few Banelings that could potentially be morphed now. And then now that Sheth also sees tank, I think he's just going to forfeit his entire attack and just fall back. He invested
a lot into that.
Yeah, he's definitely not ahead at this point. Even though he's ahead in supply, it's all in kind of units that aren't really going to accomplish anything right now.
Yeah, like Queens
so,
and...
yeah, he's definitely just going to... He's going to, in my opinion, right now what he needs to do is take that layer and take a 3rd.
Uh-oh. You don't see this now, you're going to see it in a second. A lot of drones... That could have been a lot worse. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was.
I saw him starting to line up too right there.
Yeah. Only 9 workers killed in total here for Major. He lost quite a few Hellions there. So, you know, Sheth maybe getting a little bit lucky there, but able to hold off that Hellion aggression, able to split those drones up pretty optimally, adding on a lot of drones here. Major going into Banshee production, adding on Hellions and Warhounds. Vehicle weapons level 1 about to finish. Already has that 3rd command center on the ground. So yeah, I think Major's definitely in a solid position. Layers about to finish here for Sheth. 7 drones about to complete. Income tab shows 60 to 55 in favor of Sheth, going up 65 just now. So yeah, I mean Major, you know, again trying to get this economic harassment done. Sheth doing a decent job holding that off, but of course Major is not going to be done with that for. I mean that's something you have to do throughout the entire game, and we see Major continually putting these Widow Mines absolutely you know, everywhere. He's continuing to utilize those. Do you agree with this choice, or what? That was weird. Do you agree with this choice? Continuing to go with those Widow Mines? Is it more just for vision rather than banking on doing damage?
I think if the one thing I think is really a smart idea about putting Widow Mines out here in random locations on the map is that right now the only composition that Sheth could really go for that would counter Major's current composition is a Mutalisk transition, and these mines would actually do a lot of damage to. Like if mutas flew over 2 or 3 of these mines, the 2 or 3 mutas that are initially hit are definitely going to die, and then the rest of them will be like pretty much red or at least orange in terms of their health bar. So I think it definitely is going to be. It's like it's going to be nice for Major to kind of counter a few ground units that run over it if that happens. But it's definitely, in my opinion, it's intended to counter a Mutalisk transition.
Oh, cool. That's interesting. I would expect mutas to fly in from the side. So like putting the Widow Mines, you know, out in front. Don't necessarily know about that, but you know, definitely, you know, pretty cool play here for Major. Adding on Thors, adding on 2 more factories. He's definitely going to that max. Still trying to get damage done with these Blue Flame Hellions. Going straight to that natural expansion now. Already has 20 workers killed. Trying to add some more here, but Sheth has roaches in position to deal with that. Going up to Hive. Going up to +2 missile attacks, continuing to add those drones, but I think Major is like still in a very comfortable position. Like he's the one being aggressive here, with those Blue Flame Hellions, going after his opponent's economy while building up his mech army back home, involving a lot of tanks, Hellions, Warhounds, and Thors, which is exactly the composition we saw, you know, in game number 1. Also mixing in some Banshees too. So again, we're seeing a similar type play. It's like these Banshees are harassing at the exact same time they did last game. And again, we're gonna have to see how Sheth kind of reacts. Spire and Broodlord kind of, or Spire and Hive, similarly timed, so I don't know if he's going to be going for Broodlords here. Do you think that would be a solid choice against this composition from Major?
Sorry. I definitely think Broodlord transition would be a good idea right now. He's established a 4th base. He's trying to take a 5th right now, and if he can just hold on to these 5 bases, he would actually have enough gas to sustain a decent Broodlord plus support composition. So I could see it if he's able to hold these 5 bases. I could see it working out for him. But we'll have to see if he can actually hold these 5 bases because he's pretty vulnerable right now going into the Broodlord transition.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the most one of the most vulnerable times as a Zerg player is when you're trying to get those Broodlords on the field. Obviously, you're stockpiling a lot of gas, which is a lot of resources you're not necessarily using in the game right now, whereas your opponent might be doing that. And we see Banshee still being really annoying at this 5th base. At the 12 o'clock location. Spore Crawler gets completed though, and Sheth should be resaturating that fairly soon, bringing some queens over there to try to help deal with the Banshees. At the same time, Major playing really comfortable back home, adding on 3 additional command centers. Also, his mech army is getting bigger and bigger. Already up to 5 Thors, has 3 tanks, 2 Warhounds, 6 Hellions, and like 7, 8, 9 Widow Mines. Really focusing on that Widow Mine production right now. Also adding on 2 starports.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should check his vision really fast and see if he scanned the Greater Spire.
Oh, he probably did. You're right.
Because if he did, then I think Shet's kind of screwed. Like, it's gonna be really hard for Shet to beat that army now.
He saw it being made.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
Was Sheth kind of relying on the surprise factor with those?
I think so. He's already behind this game, and the Broodlord is more or less. It's not an act of desperation, but it is definitely something that he would. He needs something to happen. He needs it to happen by surprise, kind of, because if he can actually take out 1 or 2 of Major's bases with the element of surprise of Broodlords, that's the only way I can see it working. Because now he's going to be walking Broodlords into a pure Viking counter.
Yeah.
And he's going to have something like perfect fungals in the Vikings to make this happen, or something along those lines.
We'll see if we can make that work. Definitely going to be quite difficult with the army that Major already has on the ground. The Banshees, Thors, Warhounds, and tanks. Definitely going to be staying close to those Vikings to try to protect them. We'll see. Sheth has to make this worth. 5 brothers in the way. Scan going down there from Major, seeing that Roach composition from his opponent. Also trying to take every single base on his side of the map. There's already a hatchery about to finish at the bottom right-hand side, but Major's going to be able to deny that without too much trouble. Roaches coming in here from Sheth, trying to get a cost-efficient engagement. There are some Widow Mines on the ground. Tanks hitting some key shots off onto those Roaches. 2 Thors doing a lot of damage as well. So Warhounds, Blue Flame Hellions putting in their amount of DPS as well. And I don't think this is the trade that Sheth was necessarily looking for. I think he only took out a lot of tanks. What do you think about that trade? Once you see it?
It definitely wasn't good for Sheth.
Yeah.
He obviously wanted to free up his supply. He doesn't really need Roaches against this in-game tank Thor composition anymore. He wants to definitely get more. He's actually making a lot of Roaches though. This is I think the reason why he's making those Roaches though is only because that trade was so bad, and now he just needs something to try and defend this base to go in conjunction with his Broodlords. But he definitely wanted to get a lot more out of that.
Yeah.
That first engagement.
Major really focusing on that Viking count right now, up to 11. Again, he has how many starports? I think he had 3, right? Yeah, 3 starports, 1 with reactor, 1 with the tech lab, and 1 with no add-on. Both players are maxed at this moment in time. Sheth coming forward with all of his Broodlords and his Roaches, but the Vikings should be incoming from Major fairly soon. Where are they? I'm not sure where they are. Okay, now they're coming. They're floating all the way on the left side of the map here. And once these Vikings arrive, I don't know how Sheth stops them. Like, he has 6 corruptors in the air, but that's not going to be enough. There's no fungal, no ability to fungal, no infestors on the ground. He's even engaging at a planetary fortress. And Sheth is going to lose a lot of stuff here, I would imagine. Let's see here.
He's getting a decent.
Yeah,
he's whittling down the mech army a little bit, but he's lost the majority of his Broodlord count. He's really low on high-tech units. The only thing he really has roaming around it now is just pure Roach. And pure Roach is definitely not the unit you only want to have against a high-supply mech army.
Yes. Roaches, inherently I feel like are just like, they're trade units. They're They're units. They're the stepping stone to get to you to the better stuff. They're the unit that keeps you safe for a little bit while you get to the more meatier units. But we see Chef still trying to, obviously make them work in the late game here. And to a certain extent, like we kind of talked about a little bit earlier, how much is he like forced to do this because he's kind of been on the ropes this entire game, I feel like. But we do see Major going into Raven production, also upgrading Seeker Missile. But Major has so many bases here. His income is all the way up to like 2,400. His opponent's 2,000. Actually, almost approaching 3,000 at one point on that income tab. But Major really focusing on the Raven production at this point in time, even adding on Corvid Reactor. Widowmine still being annoying to these roaches here and there on the map. And what does Sheth do from here, man? I mean, Major's economy is getting ridiculous. He's still adding tanks. His bank. Actually, both these guys' banks are just absolutely insane. Why aren't they using more Heart of the Swarm units? That's what I'm asking. We're seeing only Wings of Liberty stuff.
Yeah, I definitely think the Zerg Heart of the Storm units, the utility of them is not necessarily present in this current game, just because the Swarm hosts wouldn't really accomplish a whole lot. They're like
The Viper.
yeah, and the Viper it would be more.
Would that be position based? Because I mean, if the Vikings can just get shots off.
Yeah,
on those,
like I think the Viper would be a more realistic choice in this game, but even then, there's a ton of anti-air that that Major already has, and Sheth's Vipers would go in, grab something, and then they would just get shot down and die.
Yeah.
So they would be pretty much just trading themselves for one unit. So I definitely don't think it would be a good investment because they do require a ton of gas, and Sheth needs that gas for better units, in my opinion.
Uh-oh. Sheth poking into this third base here from Major. There's a planetary there, so Sheth going to back up as soon as about, looks like 11 or 15, let's see, 4, 8, 12, about 15 sieged out there. So going to get out of there pretty fast. Doesn't want that kind of trade at this point in time. 9 Broodlords in production here from Sheth. I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't added on Infestors yet. What do you make of that choice to delay those so long?
I saw him making an Ultralisk Cavern a little bit earlier, and he might be going for like a Ultralisk with Overlord or Charge composition now to like do a complete remax because Major's investing into a lot of Vikings. But one thing I have realized is that the Charge is terrible, and I think if Sheth goes into pure Charge Ultras, he's going to end up finding out that they're going to be terrible. He's going to lose.
I think he heard your comments on that though.
It's so bad, man. I don't know. It's ridiculously bad. Yeah. And then I don't really see any potential for dropping Ultras either, like on top of tanks.
Sure.
Just because there's so many Vikings.
And because Overlord speed is so.
Yeah. Like
slow.
I think it's gonna fail. Like if he goes into Ultras, I feel like it's gonna fail. So I hope he doesn't. And he's upgrading the charge right now.
Oh, he is. That's a fancy icon there.
If he makes it work. You're going to see a pretty funny engagement because the Ultras are literally going to move like 1 mile an hour underground towards the mech army.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait to cast it. All right, here Sheth goes with the Ultras. Charge is about to go. It's going.
I think the perfect counter to Burrow Charge Ultras is literally just scanning them, and they don't really do anything.
Now, can they stay underground for a long time and just like slowly make their way towards the Terran?
Yeah, well, the range of the burrow movement is only about 4. Like they only stay underground for about 4 range.
So it's not
max.
like you can sneak up on the Terran with those. I mean, they're gonna see the Ultras.
It's just, but like when they're going underground, you can't cancel it either. So they're like stuck going underground towards their location.
Okay, well, we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see what that looks like. You're getting me excited, man, for all the wrong reasons. But 12 Corruptors about to finish here for Liquid Sheth, and Major has a pretty ferocious force in the air. We got about 5 Ravens, plenty of Vikings and tanks. Going to deny this base on the right side fairly easily. At the same time, has a squadron of Marines and some Widowmines. Uh-oh, drone's about to get got staying just out of range of that Widowmine. Definitely a very scary, potential there. At the same time, we have SCVs trying to kill themselves. Of course, Major trying to free up that supply, considering he has plenty of orbitals on the field. Doesn't really need those workers as much. Down to 35 Harshers. Which makes his army that much bigger. Also adding in a bunch of sensor towers across the map.
Yeah, we've also seen
go ahead.
Major starting to sacrifice his SCVs too. So his army, the longer this game goes on now, the more ridiculous his army is going to get. And there's actually some mines hitting the Scrubbers and they're all stacked up. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, Sheth noting that he forgot that they hit air. Here we go. Sheth going to be relying on the the tried and true composition of Broodlord Corruptor here. Engage in the middle left-hand location. Lots of Vikings here from Major. Uh-oh, Raven's here. 200 secret missiles going onto the Corruptors, exploding a bunch of them. You're gonna see it in a second, Vibe, and you're gonna be a little bit
right
sad,
side.
but at the same time excited.
Oh, he's got a lot more.
More 100 sequels going down here from Major, making them work, or at least trying to, and they certainly are. A lot of Corruptors going down here from Sheth. The bank, though, from his is still absolutely ridiculous. Vikings doing a lot of damage. Thor is pelting away at those Broodlords. Sheth staying relatively ahead in supply, adding on to 8 Ultras and a bunch of Lings behind this, but...
Alright, here we go. Here we go. There's the Ultra Remax.
I know, but
Are you
I
ready
think he
for
might have
a
lost.
really terrible engagement?
He's
It's
lost so
gonna-
much, man. Major's
Yeah.
been so cost efficient with this.
He's got a lot of, like, the only perk to what Sheth is doing, though, right now, is
my
that
God.
Major has a lot of Vikings.
Look at the units lost. Go to the units lost tab, Mr. Vibe.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
It's definitely in favor of Major.
Yeah, a little in favor. But yeah, we're about to see 10 Ultras, man.
Well,
Sheth is gonna
actually,
show us-
one thing that's actually kind of nice too, though, is that there's not a lot of tanks, and tanks is, in my opinion, what really does a lot of damage against the burrowed charge ability. So we'll have to see. Like, like Thors are definitely still good, but I think the siege tanks is definitely the ultimate killer of the charge ability. So I don't know. I think the right choice was the transition out of Broodlords, but we'll see how well it works, I guess.
Alright, we see Sheth just straight up counterattacking to the bottom right hand side of the map. How many base trades have you had? Just curious, in Heart of the Swarm.
I've had one so far out of like 30 games.
Huh. After watching streams, I feel like a lot more people are base trading. I don't know. Is that... Have you been watching any streams, or...?
Not really. I've been playing up too much to watch streams.
Sure.
I've been streaming my own games as well.
Okay, I guess it's just me then. I don't know. We might see some, one such situation here. Ultra's coming forward, trying to engage. Looks like some Battle Hellions in there, and a Thor, but they're going to get cleaned up by those Ultras. Still haven't had a chance to see the Burrow charge yet from those Ultras. At the same time, Major attacking the top side of the map. This is as base tradey as it can get at the moment. We'll have to see when one of these players decides to back away. It looks like Major's going to be the one to do that. Backing away his forces from that top-hand location. Oh, there's a Hunter Seeker somewhere, maybe. I heard it, but I didn't see it. Well, that's a little bit...
It might have been on the bottom on like one of the infestors or something.
Alright. Yeah, Sheth is ahead in supply here. Major doesn't have a lot of minerals. He's actually has no mineral income right now.
Yeah, I think the base trade, the semi base trade that
Sure.
they just did, definitely was a lot better for Sheth, just because his army is so much more mobile.
Yep.
And he was able to knock out more bases than Major was able to knock out of Sheth's. So
I love this creep spread. Like, he has a creep tumor already at his opponent's natural. Well, not already, but it's pretty impressive that he's been able to get it this far.
yeah.
And then look at this. Lots of Ultras, sorry to cut you off, but lots of Ultras and Roaches actually coming forward to engage outside his natural expansion. Major should be backing up to deal with this, I feel like, but he's preoccupied with, I don't know, just defending this space at the middle left. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the Ultras are now, like, no matter what he does, even if he charges in, I see them winning because just the difference in supply is so huge.
Yeah.
I don't even if the Ultras are walking 1 mile an hour underground to get a charge location.
I hope we get to see
It's
that,
still
man.
gonna
You're
work.
hyping it up a lot.
It's like it makes me laugh how slow it is because it is nothing like what the battle report showed a long time ago. And they were like literally charged forward.
Yeah. We'll see what happens here. Chef
I hope he
might be
does
doing it. Hold on. Oh, Hunter Seeker missile going after an Ultra. He's going to turn around and say, "What's up?" No problem. Only took about 10 HP from that Ultra. It does have 5 carapace right now. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, Sheth kind of refusing to engage, letting Major get this space in the middle left up, and that's what Major needs right now, just that money. Where is he scanning?
He might be scanning just around the
yeah,
sides.
he's scanning. He's scanning. That's weird. Okay, so here's what happens. You can hear what animations and stuff, even if it's not on your screen. It still gives you the sound of the animation, like a scan. Whereas in Wings of Liberty, like you had to be on it for it to.
The only ability that would do that before sometimes in Wings of Liberty was a transfuse. Sometimes.
Oh, you're right.
Like you would hear a transfuse across the map.
Yeah, I think I recall that. Definitely confusing me. Like I'm like, wait a second, I heard a Hunter Seeker, but it's nowhere on my screen. Anyway, Hellions still trying to do damage to Sheth's economy there, but Major having more and more trouble, you know, getting that to happen. And 3 Hellions gonna run right into pretty big Ultra Roach army.
I'm actually really surprised at how fast Major was able to remax, to be honest. He just went up from like 140 supply to maxed in about 1 minute or 2 minutes. And without much, like, he's got 1 base.
Yeah,
So that's pretty impressive. Meals are good.
mules are quite good. You know, Sheth still has like a better bank too, but look at all these Thors here from Major. I don't. This is not a good place for Sheth to engage. He realizes it too. Gonna back away. Are we gonna see Burrow? No, not burrowing him just yet. It's turning into quite the game. 36-37 minute mark here. This, of course, if you're just now joining us, this is a best of 3 between ROOTMajOr and Liquid Sheth. Root Vibe is in the call with me. He's not playing though. Major's just playing on his account against Sheth. I wonder if Major just uses the default hotkeys, because I doubt he took the time to change it to whatever he likes.
I don't know.
Did you have to change up your hotkeys?
Yeah, I changed a few.
Yeah, so did I.
I think Major's actually doing something really smart though. He's actually transitioning back into Banshees again, and he's getting Cloak as well. So that's gonna force Fungals, or like regardless or not, it's gonna force Fungals because he has no Corruptors. But the Cloak is definitely also pretty smart because there's no.
It's just one more thing for the Zerg to worry about, which is always a good
And then
thing.
now, as I say that, Chet's actually making some Corruptors, so he's Psychic, and he's pretty smart. So he's definitely they're both making really smart unit counters and transitions out of this entire game.
Yeah, Major's continuing to scan absolutely everywhere. Banshee's going to try to get some shots off on these Roaches, trying to get behind them so they don't run as fast, or they can get more damage done before they run away. The Roaches, what are y'all doing? Oh, I guess he's just trying to get some decent trades in. I mean, he has the money and gas, but you don't just want to throw away Roaches. Okay, he's going to back away for now. This game is crazy. Like they're flip-flopping. I feel like Sheth had like the top and Major had the bottom, but now Sheth has the right and Major has the left. Pretty crazy game going on here. Definitely the more interesting. The more interesting. Oh my God! There's actually an Ultras drop in the natural expansion here, but Major gonna catch it, and all those Ultras are gonna die. One Ultras burrow. Are we gonna see charge? Sheth, do it. So what's the actual mechanic? You burrow it?
You don't burrow it. You literally walk an Ultra up somewhere, and you don't even have to cast it on a unit. You can cast it on the ground, and you just cast it as if you were casting Fungal.
Oh.
And then as soon as the Ultra, if you cast it within range, within like 4 range of your own Ultras on the ground, it'll just instantly go underground, do it, come back up. But if you cast it with like further than that max range of the burrow, it'll walk to within minimum range, and then do it.
Huh.
Or max range or whatever.
It's so strange. Does that mess with your hotkeys? Because I mean, Ultras becomes a spellcaster.
No, it's C. There's no other hotkey that has the hotkey of C on.
Well, I mean, as far as like
or,
if you group Sentries and High Templar into the same hotkey group, like they're 2 different spellcasters, so you're gonna have to tab over.
Just like I'm kind of used to that. I don't know. Some people might have odd setup and it would make it weird.
Right.
But I'm kind of used to tabbing through units just because I did that all the time in Warcraft 3.
Nice. All right, so let's take tabs of things. Major all of a sudden up 190 to 143 in that supply count. Did I miss a huge battle or something?
There was some Widow Mines owning a lot of stuff that I saw, and just some siege tanks finishing off. I think he just lost a lot of his ground army, and the Ultras is also what supply dropped him.
Yes, the Ultras and the Roaches. Okay, I'm not a terrible observer. Great. Right, but Major has a fairly comfortable supply lead here. I mean, I feel like he should be aggressive. Coming across the map here, lots of Thors, Vikings, and Ravens. His army doesn't seem as big as it should be. He still has some units chilling outside of his natural expansion. Still a bunch of Thors back there too. He's being very weird in the progression of his units. I don't really know what to make of it.
He might be expecting another counterattack in base trades style scenario.
Oh yeah.
He might just be like accepting the fact that if his few Thors over on the other side of the map die, it's not a big loss. But if they don't die, he's able to kill expansions.
That's a good point. And you know, Sheth has absolutely no rebuild ability here. He's down to 400 minerals, 100 gas. This is pretty much his last mining base at the bottom right here. At the same time, he's attacking with Broodlords and Infestors to the top left. So another base tradey type thing where both these players refusing to straight up engage each other, just going after each other's additional expansions. This time though, Major going to be backing up all of his Vikings, Ravens, and Banshees to try to deal with this Broodlord Infestor composition. And Sheth is completely out of energy, trying to throw down a bunch of infested Terrans here, and that's going to be enough for now. But once these go away, there's going to be nothing to defend against these Broodlords. And again, Sheth has no ability to rebuild these expensive units, so I think we might be close to the end here, because Major's economy is not only still decent, he still has a decent bank and also has a ridiculous army still on the ground.
Yeah.
And Sheth only has one of those things.
I think the only way Sheth can really come back in this game is if he somehow outmaneuvers the Thors and forces Major to stay on his side of the map playing defense mode and never attacks, and then Sheth actually buys himself enough time to make a new army again. But as it is right now, Sheth's pretty screwed in terms of just not being able to deal with the army Major has.
Man, he's making a game out of it though. Really being a pest in Major's eyes. Also taking another base at the top left. One blue Familian having some fun here, as all these drones are just lining up for him. And Major even trying to burrow some Widow Mines here to try to kill some more drones. But here we go. We might have a big engagement here. Thor is actually going to catch Sheth, and Sheth is going to run away. He does not want to engage this, but at the cost of this base at the top side. Probably this base at the top left. We're approaching the 45-minute mark of this Heart of the Swarm game number 3 between Major and Sheth. They are currently tied 1-1. Winner of this takes the show match. Of course, my name is Axel Toss, joined by Vibe from Team Root Gaming. And there's the GG. So Sheth throwing the towel, and Major going to take it with some fairly convincing play. And
Yeah, that was definitely a good game. They both were behind at different parts of the game, and they both managed to pull it back ahead by really clever map maneuvering. So, but Major just ended up being the final one to push it to the end there, knocking out the last expansions of Sheth. So, it was a pretty good game.
Yeah, it was really good. It was actually really entertaining. Casting Heart of the Swarm, pretty fun, at least as of right now. Where are Cats and Drewby?
No,
I don't
want to bed, man.
Did they
were
really
like,
just straight up leave?
We'll be back. Let's just go to bed, screw it. Whatever.
Oh my gosh. Major,
Go!
why'd you almost lose?
It's the Roach, I already said it. Roach is good.
Post-game interview.
Hard to play like that, man. It's really hard to play like with that Wheel Man.
Yeah, he kept countering your stuff, man. Or he kept attacking somewhere else.
No, but it's really hard like to actually use Widow Mines, because I think they're actually pretty good, but it's hard to use.
You've been trying to use them a lot, it seems.
Yeah, I like Widow Mine, but it's really hard. Actually really hard to use.
Hey, one.
Yo,
You ever think about putting? I was saying this kind of in the game. I was kind of thinking that that's something you might have been thinking about as well. But when you put Widow Mines down early on in the game, instead of making Hellions, if you're going to make Warbringers as well to counter like a possible muta transition, if they're flying across the map, like if he transitions into mutas and he flies across the map and he flies over Widow Mines, that's actually an extremely strong counter.
yeah, but I think you still need the door.
Well, yeah, you need Thor obviously, but like when you're in the very beginning in that transition, that's when you're the weakest, and you have the ability to make the Widow Mines.
Yeah, but I make the Widow Mines instead of the tank. Because I think if he goes Roach and you have Widow Mines with a bunker, you can stop Roach mainly attacks, I think, with the Hellions too.
Yeah.
That's the main reason I put. It's like you changing the Widow Mine for the tank at the beginning.
I guess.
Or the Banshee.
You gotta make the Banshee. Banshee's Zimba.
Yeah, Banshee good. You see the Banshee?
It's like the direct counter to Roach.
I see
No,
the Banshee.
Roach don't care about Banshee.
It's true, man. All right. Is the chat asking any questions? Chat have any questions for Major? Are you looking at that?
Obama. That's what I see right now.
You're saying Obama. That's fantastic. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I think that concludes what we're doing. I mean, I was hoping to have Cats and Juby here to help close out, but that might be it, guys. Again, you've been watching a show match between Major and Sheth. Major taking it down 2-1. Of course, before that, you saw about a 2-hour episode of the new Root show, Decision Making. Of course, Vibe was on that. Major was on that too. Of course, they're with me on this call. Katz and Juby were there, but they had to go. Minigun was there. He had some stuff to do too. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, please, if you have any feedback whatsoever, tweet at me at AxelToss, or you can write a little blurb in the Reddit thread. It's currently on the front page of Reddit right now, our StarCraft, that is. Go ahead and write something there if you have any feedback whatsoever. Really appreciate that feedback. Also, and the Team Liquid thread. We do have a Team Liquid thread about decision-making, the Root show. We're going to try to make it a weekly thing to hopefully fill the space of shows that you guys have been missing out on. Potentially, maybe. I don't know if you watch any of the shows, but there haven't been as many lately. So hopefully you guys like that. But other than that, Vibe, thanks for casting with me. You're awesome. Again, Vibe casted without being in the actual game. This guy is just on a Skype call with me, helping me cast the game, watching the 10-second delayed stream. Vibe, you got any shout outs or anything you want to say before we sign out?
Yeah. Thanks, AxelToss, for letting me be your co-caster.
You're the
it's
man,
pretty
dude.
fun.
Anytime.
And just thanks to Root Gaming and our sponsors. I'll name them again. I named them earlier in the other part of the show, but Rush Order Tees and Twitch. Thanks, guys, for supporting us. Really appreciate it. And thanks to everyone else for watching. And I see a bunch of people saying, "Vibe, stream," or actually not a bunch of people. It's like 2 people. I'm just trying to make myself feel better.
You should stream. Everyone go watch Vibe stream
I'm
after
not
this.
I'm not gonna. I think I'm gonna go to bed here pretty soon. I was getting pretty tired.
Man. I have class tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was drinking during the Cowboy game. Major, do you have any shout-outs you would like to give? Anything you would like to say? Anything you want to get off your chest? Now's your time, man. You got the stage.
No.
Come on, man. It's so anticlimactic. Okay, Root Slush is streaming, and so is TT1. So after this concludes, go watch them. Slush and TT1 are streaming Dat Heart of the Swarm. So that's going to do it, guys. We're signing off for now. Again, my name is AxelToss. Thank you so much for joining me. Tune in next time for the next decision-making or whatever else we have. I think we're going to have a King of the Hill on Sunday. So tune into that. Of course, feel
I like
free
this
to...
unit, man.
Huh?
I like the Widow, man.
Thanks, man. I'm trying to do the outro here. Anything else you want?
You just said Widowmine is shit earlier. Alright, sorry, go ahead.
I know, he did, didn't he? Major, anything else you want to say?
I like the Widow, man.
Okay.
But hard to use.
Major likes the Widowmine. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Feel free to follow the stream so you can stay tuned when it goes live. But that's gonna do it. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, feedback on Reddit or the Team Liquid thread. See you later.
Do you like it, Bible?
See you guys.